Avoid any misunderstandings, nameless swordmaster. Although we spoke and laughed along the way, I never said you were entitled to meet her. The Imperator decreed. The Deliverer will not appear in this age. Come now, both of you. Let's finish our job.
I see. It's a trap. I had no intention of fighting. So remember this, Lady Hysealant. If my sword shows any hesitation, don't thank me. Thank them instead.
No, you misunderstand. We don't want to see Chrysoceres hurt each other. Just give us some time to ask you a few questions.
The Nestia's golden threads will judge you and decide your fate.
As you wish.
White-haired swordmaster? If what you say is true, then you must know the fate of the world. So, how much do you know about what we read?
You shall shatter into 1,000 fragments and wither in the soil of foreign lands. Is that correct, Lady Treby?
How is this possible?
He got it right?
Yes, but the prophecy never mentioned he'd appear here. At least, not in this era.
You must listen to me, Aglaya, Treby. The phainon of this world has not yet been born. In a distant future, he will follow the prophecy's guidance and appear before you. But do not seek him out, because Era Nova is a complete and utter lie. I will tell you the truth, and you will understand why the world must forsake the prophecy and find another path to Era Nova. Because I know both of you, and I believe that no matter how the course of history may change, the faith we all share will always remain the same. And so, the layers of rock began to reverse, and history wove itself anew. Through my old acquaintances, I was given the chance to meet the leader of the Flame Chase journey, Saridra. And after a long and arduous negotiation, we came to an agreement. The Imperator's alliance needed the destruction, and I was ready to pour all my strength into it. The spoils of the Flame Chase, the core flames, would be sealed by my hand. But the condition was this. In the upcoming battle, in our conquest of the Earth, I had to prove that my power could transcend fate. In the original history, there was a brutal war. At the end, the Titankin of Georios, Terravox, killed the rampaging Titan and took the core flame that supported the Earth. But this time, Amphorius encountered a turning point in its fate. Neither side suffered any losses. When I severed the Titan's head and raised the core flame high, the crowd gathered around the scorched remains of the god, roaring with joy, cheering for the hero of the destruction, who had ignited the faint spark of life for the first. Yes, in that flickering light, the once dark path ahead seemed to become clear. I proved myself. And in the long years that followed, I brought down the other Titans. I could do more than just wait. When time resets, the chance to change the world also emerges from the lines of history. Until finally, the brutal future revealed by Era Nova is reversed. But tell me, if that's truly the case, why are we doomed to the same outcome? The people kept their promise and handed you all the core flames. In this world after Trebios, no demigods were born in Amphorius. At this point, I just want to know. When they vanished into the black tide with their mortal bodies, why didn't you shed even a single tear? Your indifference chills me. To you, were they just a bunch of insignificant footnotes? Sorrow has been my constant companion. In fact, with 12 core flames upon me, the fire in my heart has never been more violent. I'll remember this world through anger. As long as I burn, they'll never truly leave me. Perhaps it's already too late. But you're right. Anger, at this moment, is the only weapon I can rely on. So, draw your sword, executioner. I'll make sure you realize that your greatest mistake was leaving me alive. After that, he raised his sword and attacked. Then, Khaslana killed himself that day. Who fell to the sword to be left in the past, and who went into the future. I can't remember anymore. I only remember a nymph, hiding in the shadows just out of sight. Climb, fall, climb, fall, climb again. The only freedom the nymph had was in choosing how to roll the stone. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. But its choice couldn't change the futility of it all. The stone would always roll back down the slope. And then, after that, every time I reached this point in the cycle, the burning sky would cast a shadow over its path. It would nearly reach the peak at the 4th quint of curtain fall hour. And my efforts in this cycle would dissolve into nothing at the same time.
Absolute nonsense.
I thought cycles was the answer you were looking for.
No, it's just that the answer came so suddenly. There was no fun in tracing it back to its roots. Eons, paths.
I can't give you an exact explanation of those two concepts.
Enough. I'm just expressing my frustration. Don't you understand? I was already expecting this. The black tide came from beyond the sky. And everything else is no exception.
Fate is a strange thing. No matter how the details of history change, the Anaxa I know always remains as harsh as ever.
If the other Anaxagoras actually worshipped the gods, I'd make sure to find a way to break the cycles and crush them in their cradles. Too bad. Now only you have the ability to do that.
What's that supposed to mean? You're willing to help?
Of course. The core flames were meant to save the world. And in my opinion, the noble titans have no reason to refuse. Besides, according to you, before stepping into these endless cycles, you were my pupil.
I've already heard the same thing.
Enough chit-chat. Let's go. If we run into any other scholars, leave them to me. We've all made preparations for total annihilation. Never thought someone would step in to help.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
You've been to the Luminary Throne before, haven't you?
If you're talking about in past...
Hold up. Keep your wits about you. Someone's...
Pretty boy, your eyesight's better than I thought. As for that false god who's been turning the world upside down, it's you, isn't it, white hair?
You sure do love stealing the spotlight. In the name of the Seven Sages, I demand that you immediately step away from the Luminary Throne. This is the sacred ground of reason, and no one may desecrate it. Take my words back to Aglaya. I won't say the same thing twice, Catgirl.
Oh my! You won't even call me the demigod of trickery. That is just heartbreaking. I have some words for you, too. First, as one of the most heretical blasphemers in the world, you have no right to lecture me. Second, this is none of your business, Grove Boy. Step aside. I don't want anyone getting hurt.
Here we go.
Core flame thieves. You really think you can scare off a sage of the grove with nothing but empty threat?
Hey, this gloomy little brat's got a sharp tongue. Ooh, not bad, not bad. I kinda like you. As a return favor, feast on Circe's core flame right here. Aw, don't cry now.
That was close. I'm out of here.
They're exactly like all the past ones I've known. Cunning. And yet so naive.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Of course. When I first set out on the flame chase journey, Lady Treby never managed to teach me Orynyx's miracle. But along the way, I learned a thing or two.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
The Venerationists' foolish inventions finally come in handy.
How is this possible?
You've arrived, Zacharias. Always so punctual.
What? Do you know who I am?
I'm running out of patience. So I'm not going to waste words. Listen up, spirit thief. Hand over the core flame, and let's pretend we never clashed. This way, you and this world can still be saved.
Save? You think better than any bar. If you ask me, you're the greatest disaster Emporius has ever known. No matter how strong you are, you're still just a mortal body. Carrying 12 core flames? Don't make me laugh.
One 134.
What?
This is the 134th cycle I've lived through.
1,590.
Yes.
1,000 core flames and just a single Chrysos hair. How is that even possible?
I've come this far. And that's proof enough.
But someday you will burn to the ground.
Of course. The divine flames will eventually consume my eyes and blind me. But before that, they could still forge and sharpen Dawnmaker.
You...
This is the final warning.
Fine. Assume this world holds 100 million possibilities. Even so, I'll use my divine power, despised by the people of this world, to achieve that 1 in 100 million...
Bartolos!
Brett, if you got the guts, you'll have to first step over my dead body. Cat ear thief, run! Go find Aglaya! This little brat is not a threat we can deal with just by ourselves!
Future will come!
Let me compensate you!
For tomorrow! Fine. The core flames consume me. Hail you dogs! How absurd.
In my memories, Zagreus always meets the same end. Their departure no longer stirs anything in my heart.
This reason core flame before us is a fake. Obvious as day.
I know. I know. It always plays out like this. The spirit thief covers for her, and the trickery demigod escapes with 2 core flames. And then, driven by defiance or hatred, she decides to stand before me once more, exactly like the countless past hers I've known. Cunning, yet so naive.
Since you've witnessed the same scene play out countless times, tell me, will you carve the trickery core flame from my chest now?
That depends on your attitude. At least so far, in the cycles where you've asked this question.
Well, thank you for that. But I also believe that this time, you won't catch up to me. No one can catch up to me. I'm no longer running to escape anymore.
Whether you believe me or not, I'll still tell you this. You've made the wrong decision.
All right, then. We'll see.
Silence.
This is new.
One-eyed boy. What are you trying to pull now?
Go, Cyphera. Give us some time in private. This isn't for her, but for you. You've walked too far down this path. It's time to discuss a possibility. Maybe the road you're walking is not one of salvation, but one that will simply drag the world into the flames. For old time's sake, turn back. I don't care how many times you've tried, because there's one thing I'm sure of. Your Messiah complex has turned you into something no different from the icy gods you spoke of. The children of humanity you swore to save. They are no more than ants to you now.
Of course. I've been wondering, what kind of demon could burn my homeland to the ground in an instant without batting an eye? Now I have the answer. It turns out that fiery demon has been fantasizing of becoming this world's deliverer.
I don't want to argue anymore. No matter what I say, the outcome won't change. Make your biggest effort to resist. Or accept fate and hand over the core flame to me. Even if it's futile, you. We all have the right to choose.
Yes. Even if it is futile, and the world is just a divine joke.
When I walk into the destruction written by the gods with my own 2 legs, you will witness. Even the smallest footnote still leaves a mark in this story.
And so, at the end of the 134th cycle, a traveler and the scholar fulfilled their fates once again. Or perhaps it wasn't just they who fulfilled their fates. I can't quite remember all this. In the endless darkness, for no reason, a voice always lingered by my ear. Losses are a constant on the flame chase journey, among which even life itself holds little value. Reduced to ashes. Such a familiar end. It happens in every journey. Always the same.
You don't look so good, Deliverer.
Even after going through 108,642 cycles. Mighty, your name for me has never changed.
Why do you sound so pleased? It's a derogatory name.
Yeah. I know all too well. You only meant it sincerely in the first cycle. After that one and only time we walked side by side. Every time since. It always ends up like this. Dawnmaker will stab you through your 10th thoracic vertebra. That's your weak spot, and the only way to kill you.
Interesting. Tell me, when the mighty Moses of the past faced you, did they ever retreat?
Never.
Then they died honorably, worthy of the name of strife. But there's still tenderness in your eyes. How pathetic.
I have to remember how this feels. Remember that I was once human. Or else the destruction will completely consume me.
If you win, tell the mighty most of the next life. This person is a worthy opponent. So always remember to give it your all and never slack up.
I'll keep that in mind. As always.
Even though the dynasty is left with just one, the Kremnos festival will continue as usual. I, the king of the Kremnoan Legion, will host the final feast in the center of this arena, and the prize will be the flames of strife. One day, you shall die with a wound in your back. That's what I saw when I overcame the trial. the gods' dying ramblings. Enough. You've probably heard this thousands of times. So you must understand, facing the demigod of strife means there's no way you'll take this core flame in peace.
I understand.
Step forward and face me in a final battle. I, the last son of Gorgo, the demigod of strife, salute you. I'll give 10,000 scars and 10,000 lives of mine to fuel the blazing sun of deliverance. Martyrs, behold! The last Kremnos festival has begun. And it will not end till death.
It's time to temper my future will come! I'm fine.
Conquer this world, or be conquered by me.
As you wish. And in my full glory, I salute you.
That's all I ever wanted.
So without substance, hail the new dawn! Quench the flames of blood!
Doja! Chaos!
Branded with strife! Feel the scorching hatred. Empty city! So without substance, all stars burn to ash! Sun tear the sky! Quench the flames of blood! Is that all? Her agony!
One now! If you can, deliver. Use the flames of your fury to scorch your own.
Mightimos. Let strife decide the outcome. Let this burn.
Well fought. You may crown yourself my blood. In your next life, I shall once again block your path. Deliver. I wish you eternal victory.
The 108,642nd core flame of strife. Yet the shadows of the black tide still loomed, and pain and despair spread across distant lands. The blaze was still not enough. It had to be fed, even if it meant burning this body to ash.
No matter how bright the sun is, there are still places it cannot moreover. The sun you bear is both cold and blind. A sun like that surely cannot bring warmth to the nether realm of the next life.
Golden blood is born from the destruction. Only by feeding the flames can we melt that hopeless fever.
Allow me to ask, How many core flames do you carry?
24,041,183.
Such a heavy burden. So that's why you've turned into this. A broken idol.
No matter. I will bear this burden as long as you hand over the core flame of death.
I must refuse. As the demigod of death, I cannot watch you walk into a fate more cruel than death.
But this way, the past, present, and future will never again suffer unnecessary death.
Unnecessary death, indeed. You are not the phainon I know. Please turn back. Don't let that absurd and unjust fate of yours come to pass. This way, at least my realm can still become the fragrant bed where you fall asleep.
In the end, still, it seems the clash of blades was inevitable.
How painful. I know I am not your match, having fallen under your sword countless times. But even so, please understand that my resolve is not to be underestimated. Even Khaslana cannot shape all things at will, nor can they dictate the fate of all life. No one can shoulder the balance of life and death alone. And it is precisely for this reason that I chose, at the end of this arduous journey, to overcome the trial. I am the Hand of Shadow, Casterus, the demigod of death. Please turn back. Do not disturb these fresh flowers in their muddy depths. At this crossroads of life and death, the giant dragon is but a shattered shell. Yet, I will still fight, defending what hope remains.
I'm fine. It's time the death future will come. I'm fine.
I ask you to rest here!
I must transform my soul into a raging fire. Must burn.
All of this. How is it any different from that little future?
Quench the flames with blood. Is that all?
I can't keep him here.
Hail the new dawn! All stars burn to ash! Quench the flames of blood!
Even if I can't win, I must try.
Let this be a tribute to your million struggles. But
Wake up, lost one. See that the firelight in the darkness is not.
the core flame of death was taken from the dragon's belly. What a brilliant flame. It shine upon all. Light the path ahead. And illuminate the dawn of Amphorius that's to come. 2,003,432 cycles. 24,041,184 core flames. As if even the deepest abyss of primordial chaos could be burned away